Okay, so today's lecture is typographic metaphor. We're going to be working on project 2 with syntax. In grammar, syntax is the manner in which words are combined to form phrases or sentences. Typographic syntax is the connecting or ordering of typographic elements into a visual composition. Typographic syntax is impacted by the hierarchy of design elements. Here's some examples by designers Paul Rand, William Kuntz, and Robert Boyle. The elements of design, letter, word, line, column, white space, form a cohesive whole that conveys a message. So we're using the whole space, the whole page to tell a story through type. The importance is what we're looking, when we're looking about typographic syntax, how to convey a message through typography beyond reading the word. How can formal choices, syntax, enhance, reinforce, or exaggerate meaning? You can express the meaning of a word through formal choices such as alignment, framing, symmetry, asymmetry, scale, continuation, proximity, positive, negative, compound shape, repetition, correspondence, and the list can go on. Here are 3 examples done by Herb Llewellyn in the 1970s. These were all mastheads for magazines. What are you seeing here? What's the syntax?
I like how the R's look like they're holding hands.
That's right. They're having a humanistic element. They're feeling like they're holding hands, like if you're getting married. What else?
The second one kind of looks like a little child in the O, I guess. Like a baby.
Like a baby. Maybe in the mother's womb, right?
Yeah.
You have a baby. Yeah, baby in the mama's womb. And it's obviously for a magazine called Mother and Child. So very fitting. The ampersand becomes the baby. It's not literally a baby, but we read it as baby, and we especially read it as baby because it's inside the O, which makes us feel like it's inside the belly of a mama. What else do we see? What clever thing did Herb Llewellyn do with families?
The eyes, the I and the L look like, I guess, 2 parents and a child, but I feel like it doesn't make sense because it looks like families. Like the L looks like an I still, but it's cool.
It does. You're right. I mean, we have to take a little leap of a faith there, right? Because he put a dot on top of the L. And so he had to believe that we knew the word family enough that we could get away with that, right? It was a familiar enough word that he could get away with tricking us by putting this dot on the top of the I, because he really didn't want us to read it as an I. He wanted us to read it as a mother, a father, and a child. He wanted it to read us as a family. So he was literally making a typographic family inside the word family. Pretty clever. Here are some examples from students doing this with words. What do we think? Here we have the K's basically looking like a knit, weaving the K's together so they feel like a knit pattern. Narcissists, there's been so much talk about narcissism, right? We all know a narcissist is in love with themselves. So here you have the 2 S's creating a heart so that narcissist is, showing how much they love themselves. Segregate. We know the word segregate means to separate. So the idea of the two words separating, but not just separating, but showing that the two words are different. So it's separating things that are different. The key is not settling for the obvious and making sure that you're thinking about how simple these things can be. The idea is simplicity gets you much further. You notice none of these are highly illustrative, and they're all using only type. There's no other elements of illustration in these. These are just type. Now I'm going to show you an example from a hit movie designed by Pentagram Partners in New York. How many Marvel fans, or DC, not Marvel, DC fans we have out there? So here's the title treatments for Birds of Prey. What do you see in these titles?
An arrow.
Oh, yep. What else?
There's a bat.
Yeah, I'm going to show you some more. A bat. What story do you think it's telling us? I'm trying to see if I can get to more of it. I'm going to go back up to the top one. Here, I'm going to pause it. What do we all see? We have a bat, an arrow. What else? Hammer in the R, a knife. They're weapons, exactly. A bow. So all of this, there's a diamond indicating Harley Quinn, right? Or indicating, I think it was what they were after, the diamond. All of these are hidden in the counters and in the space between letters. So it's a metaphor. It's showing us birds of prey. If you just look at it, you read birds of prey. But if you look closer, you'll see, oh, there's an S hidden in the counter of the S. And then the D has a bow. And there's an arrow between the I and the R. There's a bat in the O. The E becomes brass knuckles. I mean, it's telling us a story before we even get to the movie theater. This is telling us, okay, there's going to be a lot. Oh, I think you're right. I think the B could be a mask. I agree. I think that's a mask. This idea that all of these things are going to be in the story we're going to watch for Birds of Prey. We know there's going to be a lot of weapons. It's probably going to be a lot of violence. I think you can just look at this and say this is going to have a lot of violence in it, right? And here's an example of some of the ways they used it. This is the write-up from Pentagram. This is a link, and I have this link in our this link is in our weekly module. So you can read about the design of this project. So the powerful logo holds the weapons of the Harley and the Birds of Prey, and it's hidden as a visual Easter egg for fans. So the idea is it's not super obvious. It's very simple and it's hidden. It's a second read. It's not a first read. So they wanted it to be really secondary. And then if you watch the whole series of titles, you can see they did all of the names of everyone in it with this alphabet. So they created a whole alphabet like this. Pretty cool.